Hi everyone, and welcome to The Sleepy Scientist. I'm really happy you're here. Tonight, we're going to go on a calm and quiet trip to learn something amazing. So get comfy, take a deep breath, and let's enjoy this peaceful science story together. Before we start, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from and what time is it for you right now? If you like relaxing science videos, don't forget to tap the like button. Now let's begin.
There is a silence woven into the fabric of the universe, a soft hush that feels like the pause between breaths. If you listen carefully, not with your ears but with the quiet part of your mind, you may sense that this silence carries secrets. It is not emptiness, but rather the potential for everything. Within that potential lies a question that scientists have whispered to themselves for decades. Can the universe hold only a certain amount of information? Could reality itself be limited, not by space or by time, but by the capacity to remember? Imagine standing at the edge of a still lake at dawn. The surface of the water reflects the sky, each ripple carrying with it a story of light. But no matter how wide the lake spreads, its surface can only shimmer with a finite reflection. In a similar way, the universe too may shimmer with only so much information. This notion, mysterious and profound, finds its voice in something called the Bekenstein bound. It suggests that within any given region of space, there is a maximum amount of information, of bits, of knowledge, of possible arrangements that can exist. Beyond that, the fabric of reality simply cannot remember more. The idea was first shaped by Jacob Bekenstein, a physicist who looked into the heart of black holes and found a paradox. Black holes are strange places, cosmic abysses where matter falls inward and cannot escape. In the early 1970s, many believed black holes erased the information of whatever entered them. If a star, a planet, or even a book fell inside, everything about its story would vanish beyond recovery. But Bekenstein wondered if the laws of nature would allow such complete forgetting. Could the universe permit information to simply disappear? As he worked through the problem, he began to see that black holes, far from being destroyers of memory, might in fact be keepers of it. They carry information not in the swirling darkness of their interiors, but on the delicate surface of their event horizons, the boundaries beyond which nothing escapes. And so arose the extraordinary thought that the information of a thing might not be stored in its volume, but in the thin skin of its surface. Like a leaf floating on the pond, the memory of matter could live not in its depths, but upon its fragile boundary. This was the seed of the Bekenstein bound. It tells us that the maximum amount of information in a region of space is proportional not to the space's volume, but to the area of its boundary. That is a strange, counterintuitive thing. If you have a box full of books, you would think its information depends on how many pages you can cram inside. But according to this law of the universe, it depends instead on the surface area of the box itself. The walls of the box, not its interior, decide how much memory reality can hold. Space whispers its secrets in surfaces, not volumes. Now imagine the universe itself as a vast library. Each star is a book, each atom a page, each quantum vibration a word. But even the most generous library must have a limit to how many shelves it can carry. The Bekenstein bound tells us that the shelves of the universe are not endless. There is a ceiling, a quiet and absolute maximum to how much can be written in the fabric of reality. Beyond that, the words dissolve. The library closes its doors. This limit is not small. It is unimaginably vast. Even in a tiny region of space, no larger than a grain of sand, the bound allows for an almost inconceivable amount of information. And yet the fact that it is finite, not infinite, changes the way we see everything. If the universe cannot hold unlimited information, then reality itself is countable, discrete, like the pebbles on a beach. The cosmic ocean has ripples that can be measured, and each ripple has its own name. In the soft glow of this idea lies a reflection about us too. We are creatures made of atoms, but we are also creatures of memory and thought. If every thought, every story, every dream we carry must find space in the universe's grand accounting, then even our quiet lives are counted among the cosmos' information. The whispers of our lives are stored, not lost, folded delicately into the surfaces that shape space and time. The universe remembers in ways we can scarcely imagine. Think of the way a leaf drifts on water. It carries its weight gently, rippling the pond without sinking deep. The pond, in turn, records the leaf's presence in expanding circles. In this metaphor, the leaf is matter and the pond is space-time. The ripples are information flowing outward, never entirely gone. The Bekenstein bound is the assurance that the ripples cannot be infinite, but neither can they vanish without a trace. They are written on the pond's surface as memory written in waves. Scientists often speak of this bound in the language of physics and mathematics: entropy, bits, Planck areas, constants of nature. But at its heart, it is also a story about remembering it. Deforgetting, the cosmos may not permit forgetting beyond a certain limit. It holds its memories close, inscribed in the geometry of space itself. And in this way, the universe seems more like a living thing, a mind that cannot release its past, only reshape it. When we look at the night sky, dotted with stars like fireflies in an endless meadow, we may be tempted to think the universe is infinite in every sense. Infinite in size, infinite in memory, infinite in possibility. But the Bekenstein bound whispers otherwise. It tells us that there is a hidden gentleness in limitation. That infinity may not be required for wonder, because even a finite cosmos contains more stories than we could ever tell. Its limit is not a cage but a cradle, holding the universe with quiet grace. Now imagine holding a single photon of light, the smallest unit of brightness. That photon too carries information about where it has been, what it has touched, how it vibrates in its tiny packet of energy. Multiply that by the countless photons bathing our world, and you begin to sense the ocean of information already shimmering within reach. Each sunbeam falling on your skin is a letter in the universe's library, written in the glowing ink of quantum mechanics. And yet, even these letters have a limit to how many can be inscribed within the sky. The bound also connects us to black holes in a tender, paradoxical way. Black holes, which once seemed to be destroyers of information, are now understood to be custodians of it. Their surfaces glow faintly in the language of physics, radiating with what Stephen Hawking would later describe as Hawking radiation. Within that glow is the suggestion that nothing is ever entirely lost, not even in the deepest night. The black hole does not erase the story, it folds it into its surface, a secret kept in the fabric of its horizon. The universe then becomes a poet too, speaking softly in surfaces and limits. And as you let these thoughts drift across your mind, you may feel the weight of the question lighten. Does the universe have an information limit? Yes, perhaps it does. But within that limit lies a beauty, a comfort even. For it means that every detail, every ripple, every fleeting moment has its place. Nothing can grow so endlessly tangled that it escapes the count. The cosmos is careful, it counts, and in counting it remembers. Like the gentle breath of wind across a field, like the tide retreating but leaving its patterns in the sand, the universe holds its memory in the patterns of boundaries. You may close your eyes now and imagine the edge of space not as a wall, but as a surface alive with inscription. Every star, every heartbeat, every thought is etched there, woven into the luminous boundary between being and silence. The Bekenstein bound is not a cold calculation, but a lullaby of limits, reminding us that even in finitude, there is infinity enough for wonder. And as the stars turn above us, their stories written in light, we too become part of the cosmic memory, carried gently within the universe's patient embrace. Let us drift deeper into the quiet thought that the universe remembers through boundaries. The Bekenstein bound does not merely live in equations and chalkboards, it stretches into how we imagine reality itself. If every surface carries the limits of memory, then perhaps the universe is more like a tapestry, its threads woven tightly across the edges of things. Each knot of the weave holds not just position, but history, context, and whisper. A galaxy with its spiraling arms of light may be less about volume and more about the story that its horizon tells, as if the edge of the whirl is a parchment inscribed with its past. Picture again the black hole, that cosmic paradox, and linger on its event horizon. To our eyes, it may appear as nothing more than darkness, but physics suggests that the horizon is alive with information. Its surface, measured in plank-sized patches far too small for our sight, can be imagined as tiny tiles, each carrying one bit of possibility. The surface is finite, though staggeringly vast. And from those countless bits, the story of all that has fallen inside can still be written, though in a language too subtle for us to yet decipher. In this way, the black hole becomes like a diary, its cover shut tight, its pages unreadable, yet undeniably filled with text. This concept ripples outward into the holographic principle, an idea born from the seed of Bekenstein's thought. If a black hole's information is written on its surface, then perhaps the universe itself is like a hologram, where the deepest truths of the three-dimensional world are carried on two-dimensional boundaries. Imagine a pearl, luminous and round. Inside it lies depth and light, but all that depth is encoded on its surface's gleam. In such a way, reality may be more than it seems, with every volume secretly defined by a delicate skin of data. The cosmos may be speaking to us through boundaries, reminding us that the edges are where stories truly live. We can connect this softly to the way we live our lives. Boundaries define us too, our skin, our homes, even the horizons of our memory. The boundary of the mind is not infinite, it holds only so much, and yet within that finite capacity we create entire worlds of meaning. The Bekenstein bound reflects this on the grandest stage. The limit is not a curse, but a shape, a form, a structure that allows beauty to emerge. Like the lines in a poem, it is the boundaries that give rhythm and flow, without which the words would spill endlessly, losing their power. Let us imagine the smallest scale now, the quantum level. A single particle does not shout its position or its momentum, it whispers in probabilities. The information it holds is subtle, uncertain, spread like mist over a morning field. But even these delicate mists obey the Bekenstein bound. They cannot carry unlimited complexity. The fog may be infinite in feeling, but not in fact. Each particle, each atom, carries within it a finite set of possibilities, and together those possibilities define what we call reality. The grain of sand beneath your foot, the breath that warms the night air, the photon glimmering on your eyelash, each one is finite, though the sum of their beauty feels endless. The bound reaches even into thermodynamics, into the ancient conversation about order and disorder. Entropy is the measure of how much uncertainty, how many possible arrangements, live in a system. Bekenstein showed that entropy too cannot grow without limit in a confined region. The bound becomes the quiet law that keeps chaos from growing beyond measure. The universe, it seems, will not allow its stories to become tangled beyond recognition. There is always a maximum script, a limit to the chapters. The story may be vast, but it will not be infinite. And in that restraint lies clarity, like a melody that does not wander endlessly but circles back to its key. Think of water freezing into ice. As it cools, the random dance of molecules slows and locks into crystalline patterns. The information of liquid becomes the structure of solid, written in the hexagonal beauty of ice. The transformation whispers that even change carries memory, that the bound is not broken but obeyed in every transition. Or imagine the stars themselves, blazing spheres of fusion. Each carries information in its layers of fire and plasma, in the photons it releases across millennia. Yet even the sun, with its ceaseless radiance, cannot exceed the universal limit. Its memory, too, is finite, written into the light that leaves it. Now picture yourself beneath that starlight. Each photon striking your skin is not only warmth but a message, an echo of the nuclear heart of a star. You are bathed constantly in information, carried gently across the void. But here is the wonder. No matter how much light reaches you, the cosmos that sent it has its boundaries. The messages may feel infinite, but they are always bounded by the soft ceiling of reality's capacity. You are standing in the library of the universe, and the shelves, while vast, are not endless. Yet within those shelves are stories enough for countless lifetimes of discovery. This thought leads us to the quiet realization that limits do not diminish wonder, they shape it. A painting is framed, and within its frame lies the depth of expression. A song ends, and within its ending lies the sweetness of memory. The Bekenstein bound tells us the universe is framed, that even reality has an edge to its canvas. But within that edge, within the finite brushstrokes of physics, lies infinite beauty for us. We do not need boundless infinity to feel awe. We need only the vast but finite expanse that holds us now. Some scientists see in this bound the hint that the universe itself is computable. If every region of space has a maximum information content, then perhaps the cosmos is a kind of great computer, processing bits upon its surfaces. Reality could be thought of as a program, written in particles and waves, executed across time. The thought is at once humbling and comforting. We are patterns in a computation too grand to grasp, but not too grand to touch us. Each heartbeat, each thought, may be part of that calculation, encoded delicately on the surfaces of being. As this idea settles in, notice how it makes the ordinary glow with significance. A whisper, a touch, a glance, all are encoded moments in the bounded memory of the cosmos. They will not vanish without trace. Like ripples on the pond, they remain, finite yet enduring. The bound ensures that nothing is lost to infinity's abyss, but rather folded into the counted story of space and time. In this way, physics becomes not a cold law, but a gentle reassurance. The universe remembers you because it remembers everything, and it does so within its tender boundaries. And so, drifting through this reflection, we come to a place of stillness. The Bekenstein bound is not just a law of physics, but a meditation on finitude. It whispers that even the universe must respect its own capacity, that even the stars obey the soft architecture of memory. To us, it teaches that limits are not endings but frames, not prisons but forms. And as the stars above continue to shine, each photon carrying its gentle letter of light, we can feel the truth. The cosmos is not infinite in its memory, but in its meaning. And within that meaning, there is always room for wonder. Let us wander gently toward the closing of this story, carrying with us the threads of memory, surface, and light. The Bekenstein bound has shown us that the universe, vast as it is, carries a ceiling to its remembrance. Yet the ceiling is so high that we can hardly touch it, like the farthest stars shimmering beyond reach. And in this paradox lies its poetry, that a limit can still be so immense that it feels infinite to us, though in truth it is not. The cosmos carries its boundaries with grace, and we, drifting inside, learn to see limits as forms of beauty rather than chains of confinement. The whisper of the bound has reshaped how scientists think of black holes, of entropy, of reality itself. But beyond the equations, beyond the chalkboards dense with symbols, it has also touched our imaginations. To think that every horizon is a library, every surface a diary of memory, invites us to see the universe not as an empty stage, but as a book whose pages are written in light and time. The galaxies are not just scattered jewels of matter, but stories bound in cosmic covers, their information etched across the glowing edges of their horizons. Imagine now a human life in this context. Each person is a finite region of space, carrying within them a universe of thoughts, feelings, and dreams. By the bound's law, even this region has its maximum memory. Yet within that limit, the richness of a life is contained, just as the richness of a star is contained in its luminous surface. You are bounded, and yet within your bounds are libraries of meaning, more than can ever be fully told. The parallel between cosmos and human is quiet but profound. Both are finite, and yet both hold infinities of experience within those limits. The poetry of this law becomes more striking when we recall that the universe may be holographic. If the depth of things is secretly encoded on surfaces, then perhaps we ourselves are written not in hidden volumes, but in the tender shimmer of boundaries. The skin of our being, the horizon of our perception, the edges of our memories, these may be the places where our stories are stored. And in that gentle realization comes comfort. We are not lost in volume, we are inscribed on light. The universe itself remembers us, not by hiding us deep, but by holding us close to its edge. Close your eyes and imagine a black hole again, but this time do not see it as destruction. See it as a vault of memory, where every photon, every atom, every whisper that falls inside becomes part of its surface inscription. The black hole becomes a cosmic storyteller, its horizon glowing with secrets it never reveals but never erases. The Bekenstein bound ensures that even here, in the deepest shadows of the cosmos, information is not forgotten. The night may be dark, but it is never empty of memory. This leads us to reflect on the nature of forgetting. In human life, memories fade, stories blur, and details slip away. But the universe, it seems, is gentler in its remembering. It does not forget, it only reshapes, encodes, and hides. A photon absorbed becomes a photon emitted. A ripple lost becomes a ripple written on the edge of space. Our lives, too, may fade in recollection, but the universe itself carries their imprint. The bound whispers that even the smallest acts are accounted for, each breath folded into the patient mathematics of being. And so, what is the lesson of this cosmic law? Perhaps it is that limitation does not diminish significance. Rather, it magnifies it, because there is only so much space for memory. Each moment becomes precious. Each choice, each kindness, each thought is not lost but stored, contributing to the sum of the cosmos' remembrance. We live in a counted world, and that counting makes us matter. To be finite is not to be meaningless. It is to be treasured, measured, remembered. Picture once more the starlight falling on your face. Each ray is billions of years old, a messenger from a distant past. It travels through space, obeying the limits of physics, carrying with it information about its origin. When it touches you, it completes its story. That photon becomes part of your own story, woven into your skin, your memory, your moment. You are a receiver of cosmic messages, a participant in the grand exchange of information. And within the Bekenstein bound, this exchange is both finite and eternal, bounded yet ceaseless. Now let us imagine the end of time itself. If the universe expands endlessly, stars will cool, galaxies will drift apart, and darkness will spread. Yet even in that quiet future, the information of all that has been will remain etched into the fabric of space. The universe may grow silent, but its silence will not be empty. It will be heavy with memory, with the weight of everything that ever was. The Bekenstein bound ensures that this weight is not limitless, but neither is it zero. It is a final book on a shelf, closed but never blank. This is the soft resolution, that we live in a universe that counts, and in its counting it holds us. The law of information is not cruel but tender, for it tells us that nothing is ever lost. What falls into black holes, what fades into time, what slips beyond recall is still remembered in the cosmic library. The bound is not a barrier but a lullaby, reminding us that within the universe's embrace all is accounted for, all is known, all is written. As we step out of this story, let us carry the image of the pond's surface, rippling with circles. Each ripple is finite, each wave will fade, but together they inscribe the presence of the leaf that touched the water. In this way, our own lives ripple across space and time. The universe may not allow infinite ripples, but it ensures that each one matters, each one is counted, and in the gentle counting of the cosmos we find peace. So the question, does the universe have an information limit, becomes more than science. It becomes a meditation. The answer is yes, it does. But in that limit lies an infinity of meaning, an ocean of wonder, a boundless tenderness. The Bekenstein bound is the edge of infinity, the whisper of a cosmos that remembers softly and always. And as the stars continue their slow dance across the night sky, we too may rest, knowing we are written in their light, forever part of the gentle memory of the universe. The weight of memory in a grain of space. Such a phrase sounds like poetry, yet it is also the quiet suggestion of physics. Imagine holding in your palm a grain of sand, so small, so ordinary, yet within it lies the capacity to hold more information than any library built by human hands. The Bekenstein bound reminds us that even the tiniest region of space has a maximum capacity for memory, a ceiling beyond which no further details can be stored. And though this ceiling is unreachable in practice, it whispers that reality itself is built not of endless infinity, but of careful measure. The question that arises is this: how can a grain of space carry such weight? To begin to see, we must step back into the notion of entropy, the measure of disorder, the count of possible arrangements. Entropy is not simply chaos, it is the number of stories a system can tell. A gas in a box does not have just one arrangement but countless possibilities, each molecule drifting and colliding in its own path. The Bekenstein bound says that there is a maximum to these possible stories. Beyond it, no new narrative can be written. Even the chaos of atoms is held gently within a limit. Now imagine a star collapsing into a black hole. In that collapse, matter and light vanish from view, yet the entropy of the black hole is not infinite. It is determined by its surface area, not its volume. The horizon of the black hole becomes the canvas of memory, holding the weight of all that fell inside. This realization reshapes our understanding of space itself. If a black hole, the most extreme region we can imagine, obeys the Bekenstein bound, then every patch of space must also obey it. Every grain of sand, every breath of air, every photon of light carries memory measured not in endlessness, but in sufficiency. Think of a sheet of paper, blank and white. You may write upon it, filling it with words, diagrams, drawings, but there comes a point where no more can be written. The page has a maximum capacity for ink, beyond which the words blur into unreadable noise. The Bekenstein bound is the universe's way of saying, every region of reality is a page. You may write many stories, but never more than the page allows. It is a law not of cruelty, but of clarity, ensuring that reality never dissolves into infinite noise, but remains always a legible book. This reflection takes us further. If every grain of space has a finite capacity, then the universe is composed not of boundless infinity but of countless pages, each carrying a portion of the cosmic story. The stars, the galaxies, the atoms, the thoughts within your mind, all are written pages. The book of the universe is vast beyond imagination but still finite. Its finitude does not diminish wonder, it enhances it. For within each page lies meaning, and within the sum of pages lies the grandeur of everything that is. Imagine for a moment the neurons in your brain. Each neuron fires with electrical signals, pulses of ions across membranes. Together they weave the patterns of thought, memory, identity. And yet your brain too has limits. It cannot hold infinite memories, it cannot process endless possibilities. But within its boundaries, the richness of a human life unfolds. The Bekenstein bound reflects this truth on a universal scale. Just as your mind is finite yet profound, so too the cosmos is finite yet unfathomable in its richness. The weight of memory in a grain of space is not lessened by being finite, it is intensified. Let us drift to the quantum scale, where particles blur and probabilities shimmer. Here too the bound asserts itself. A particle's state is not infinitely complex. It carries within it a set of possible configurations, a finite catalog of possibilities. The quantum foam beneath reality bubbles with uncertainty, but even that foam cannot bubble beyond the bound. The weight of memory is distributed in each bubble, each fluctuation, each possibility. And as they rise and fall, the story of the universe continues to be written, always within the patient architecture of the bound. This vision leads to an almost mystical realization that reality itself is countable. Each moment, each atom, each ripple can be thought of as a bit in the cosmic ledger. The bits are not infinite, but they are vast enough to encompass the grandeur of galaxies, the tenderness of life, the quiet of thought. The grain of space you imagined holding in your hand may contain more possible arrangements than there are atoms in all the stars of the observable universe, and yet it remains finite. The limit is not a diminishment of beauty, but the frame that holds beauty in place. Picture water flowing in a stream. Each droplet carries reflections of sunlight, each ripple glimmers with shifting patterns. Yet the stream's width and depth limit its flow. It cannot carry more water than its channel allows. Still, within those boundaries, the stream sings its music shaped by the rocks, the banks, the limits of its course. The Bekenstein bound is the universe's streambed. It guides the flow of information, ensuring that the song of reality never spills into incoherence, but remains always a harmony shaped by its channel. As this thought lingers, it begins to touch the heart. We are not infinite beings, but finite ones, and yet our finitude does not erase meaning. It is because we are finite that our lives shine so brightly. Each moment matters because it will not repeat endlessly. Each breath matters because it is counted. The universe itself reflects this truth. Its memory, though limited, is profound beyond our comprehension. In a grain of space lies the weight of countless possibilities, just as in a human life lies the weight of countless stories. Both are bound and both are beautiful. Now let us imagine the stars again, scattered across the night sky. Each one burns with fusion, each one radiates photons that travel across light years to touch your eye. The memory of each star is finite, written in the light it releases. Yet as you gaze upward, the sky feels infinite. This paradox is the gift of the Bekenstein bound. The finite can feel infinite because its capacity is so vast, so beyond reach, that we are dwarfed by its generosity. We live in a world where limits exist, yet those limits stretch farther than our imaginations can travel. So when you hold that grain of sand again in your mind, know that it carries the same law as the stars, the galaxies, the universe itself. Its memory is finite, but within that finitude lies possibility upon possibility, story upon story, arrangement upon arrangement. The grain of sand is not small. It is a universe in miniature, bound by the same gentle ceiling that holds all of creation. And in its quiet weight of memory, it reminds us that reality itself is a treasure, carefully measured, lovingly bounded, infinitely meaningful within its finite frame. Let us drift more deeply into the thought of memory resting within a grain of space. The Bekenstein bound reminds us that the very act of existence is tied to information, and information is not without limit. Just as a seashell carries the echoes of the ocean within its spiral, so too does each patch of the universe carry the memory of what it has held. But unlike the seashell, which eventually fades and crumbles, the memory within space itself does not vanish. It is folded carefully into the surface, inscribed upon the cosmic skin like writing upon the shore of time. Consider the human eye gazing upon the night sky. Each photon that touches the retina carries with it a history, a record of where it came from, the star that birthed it, the fusion reactions deep within that star's furnace. When it strikes the delicate cells of your vision, it completes its long journey and its information is absorbed into your perception. Multiply this process by the countless photons falling upon Earth every moment, and you realize that even the air around you is saturated with stories of the cosmos. Yet all of it is finite, the data, the memory. It is immense, but it has a ceiling, and that ceiling is what allows it to remain coherent and meaningful. The idea of memory in space may feel abstract, but it can be approached through analogy. Imagine a woven blanket. Each thread is limited in length, each stitch tied to the ones around it. The blanket has an edge, a border that defines where the weaving begins and ends. Without that edge, without the limit of stitches, the pattern would unravel into chaos. The Bekenstein bound is the border of reality's blanket. It prevents information from unraveling infinitely, ensuring that the pattern remains whole, a tapestry that can be read, admired, and lived within. Scientists describe this capacity in units of bits, the smallest pieces of information, like the smallest syllables of a cosmic poem. These bits are not carried in the volume of space but on its surface, as though the walls of a room held the true memory of what lies inside. Imagine entering a quiet library. You expect its memory to be hidden in the books upon the shelves, but then you discover that every wall itself is etched with words, every ceiling inscribed with text. The room's memory does not rest in its empty volume, but on the very surfaces that define it. Such is the strange, poetic truth that Bekenstein uncovered. This principle stretches into the mysterious idea of holography, where a three-dimensional reality may be described fully by information spread across a two-dimensional surface. Imagine holding a holographic card, the kind that shifts images as you tilt it. Though the card itself is flat, the image appears to rise in depth. What you see in volume is encoded upon the surface. Now imagine the universe itself as such a card. All the depth we live within, all the stars and galaxies stretching into distance, may be the holographic unfolding of data written upon the grand surface of reality. We live inside the depth of a cosmic image, projected from a boundary that remembers. The weight of memory in a grain of space begins to take on new meaning here. That grain is not simply a location in emptiness. It is a page in the holographic book of the universe. The page is not infinite, but its capacity is staggering, like a page that could hold not words but galaxies of words, not sentences but histories of civilizations. Yet there is still a final line at the bottom, a limit to how much may be written before the page is full. And the bound, like a patient librarian, ensures that no more is written than the page can hold. This realization changes how we think of loss. When a candle burns down to nothing, we say it has disappeared. But in the language of information, it has not been lost. Its light, its heat, its chemistry are all accounted for, written into the surfaces of space. When a person passes, their matter, energy, and patterns do not dissolve into nothing. They are reshaped, redistributed, and remembered in the cosmic accounting. The Bekenstein bound ensures that there is no infinite loss, no erasure beyond all recognition. What was remains, folded into the surface of time. At the same time, this bound speaks to humility, for though the capacity of space is immense, it is not unending. There is no infinity of memory, no limitless sea of data. Each region is full in its own way, and then it closes like a book gently shut. The stars themselves obey this law, their fiery lifetimes inscribed not endlessly but within boundaries. The galaxies, vast as they are, cannot exceed their informational ceiling. Even the universe itself, perhaps infinite in expanse, may still be finite in information. This thought reminds us that grandeur does not require infinity. The finite, when vast enough, carries all the wonder we could ever need. Now think of the human heart beating rhythmically in the chest. Each beat is a record of blood flowing, of life sustained. Over years, these beats number into billions, a library of rhythms carried quietly within a lifetime. The heart too is finite, yet within its finite beats lies the richness of existence. The bound tells us that space itself has a heartbeat, a rhythm of memory measured in bits, and though finite, its story is immense. Within the grain of space rests the weight of galaxies, just as within a heart rests the weight of love. Let us step back to the cosmic horizon. The observable universe itself is bounded by what light has had time to reach us. Beyond that horizon we cannot see, yet even this horizon carries information, written on its vast surface. The bound ensures that the observable cosmos has a calculable maximum to its memory, and within that bound lie all the stars, all the planets, all the lives, all the thoughts. It is enough to fill us with awe, to realize that within the skin of the cosmos lies the memory of all we know. So the weight of memory in a grain of space is not a metaphor alone, it is a physical truth. The grain is a library, the horizon is a W. All of inscriptions, the cosmos is a book whose pages are finite yet impossibly rich. In this thought lies a soft comfort, for we are part of that memory. Each breath, each thought, each glance at the stars is not lost. It is folded into the bound, etched upon the surfaces of reality, carried forever in the weight of memory that the universe allows. And though it is finite, it is vast beyond measure, enough to hold the story of everything that has ever been. As we arrive at the final contemplation of this cosmic bound, let us linger in the quiet of its implications. The Bekenstein bound, though a mathematical limit, reads like a gentle poem whispered by the universe. Each particle, each photon, each trembling vibration of space carries the imprint of all that could possibly be. Nothing is random beyond measure. Everything is woven into a framework that is at once firm and delicate. The finite memory of space provides the structure in which the dance of existence occurs. And yet, despite its limitations, the bound allows for creativity, for variation, for the infinite shades of possibility that we witness in life and in the cosmos. Consider the planets circling their stars. Each orbit is precise, measured, and yet each has its own subtle irregularities, a tiny tilt, a slight wobble, a whisper of influence from other worlds. The motion of planets is not chaotic, nor is it infinitely predictable. It exists within the bounds of gravity, of energy, of information. The Bekenstein bound governs the maximum information that could describe each orbit. And in that governance there is freedom. The planets spin, rotate, and shift in endless minor variations, creating an ever-changing celestial ballet, each step recorded in the ledger of cosmic memory. We can imagine the microscopic world as well, where electrons do not travel in straight lines but in clouds of probabilities, spreading their presence across space in gentle uncertainty. Here, the bound imposes a limit on the information contained in these quantum clouds. Each electron is a page, its state a sentence, and together they write the story of matter. No particle carries infinite detail, yet within the finite data lies every structure that exists, from the molecules that make up your body to the iron core of distant stars. Finite boundaries create coherence. They allow matter to form, life to emerge, and the universe to remain intelligible to the human mind. Even time itself may be influenced by this memory limit. Moments are not endlessly divisible, they are sequences, intervals marked by the flow of energy and the transfer of information. The grains of time, like grains of space, have a memory capacity. Each second carries the imprint of what occurs within it, and yet no second can hold an uncountable infinity. The Bekenstein bound suggests that the past is recorded in a finite ledger, that the unfolding present is always written within a limit, and that the future, though open, is built upon pages already inscribed. There is comfort in knowing that the universe remembers, that nothing is truly lost, yet that it never overwhelms itself with endless detail. Let us turn inward to the mind that reads these words. Each thought is an arrangement of neurons firing, a pattern of electric and chemical activity. There is a limit to how many thoughts, memories, and ideas the mind can hold at once, yet within that limit lies the richness of imagination. The universe mirrors the mind in this way, finite, bounded, yet boundlessly capable of beauty and wonder. Just as a single melody can express countless emotions within a fixed number of notes, so too can the finite information of the cosmos give rise to infinite forms of complexity and grace. And now imagine the black holes once more, those mysterious vessels where matter collapses and light disappears. Their entropy is vast, yet finite, written upon the very horizon that marks their boundary. Every particle that falls into a black hole contributes to its memory, yet the information is encoded only upon the surface. Nothing within is lost to infinity, all is preserved in the record. It is a profound reminder that the universe, no matter how extreme or unfathomable, operates within limits that render existence both meaningful and intelligible. Memory is not scattered endlessly. It is held carefully, patiently, beautifully. The implication for the universe at large is staggering. Each galaxy, each nebula, each star carries a finite capacity for information, yet when combined, they weave the most intricate tapestry imaginable. The Bekenstein bound acts as the spine of this cosmic book, giving shape to chaos, providing definition to potential, and allowing the symphony of existence to unfold harmoniously. Without the bound, patterns would collapse into noise, meaning would dissolve into endless permutations. With it, every particle, every photon, every heartbeat, every thought becomes part of a story that is coherent, continuous, and breathtakingly profound. And as we dwell on this, we might return to our human experience, small and tender in the vastness. Our lives are finite, our memories, though vast, are not endless. Each moment we experience is precious because it exists within boundaries. And perhaps that is a lesson from the universe itself, that limits are not constraints but frameworks for beauty. Within the Bekenstein bound lies the wisdom that existence can be rich, meaningful, and complete, even when measured, even when finite. The cosmic ledger holds our place, and in its careful accounting, there is a quiet magnificence that mirrors the wonder of human life. Finally, imagine standing beneath the night sky, the universe stretching far beyond what the eye can see. The stars, the galaxies, the cosmic horizon, all are parts of this bound reality. The light that reaches us is a message, the matter we touch is memory, and the space around us is a canvas. Every grain of space carries the weight of possibility. Every moment is written in the ledger of existence, and every heartbeat of the cosmos resonates with the bound nature of memory. The Bekenstein bound is not merely a limit, it is a promise. A promise that the universe remembers, that it holds its stories with care, and that within its finite pages lies a beauty too vast to be exhausted, too profound to be fully grasped, yet always there for those who pause and look closely. Imagine for a moment the subtle hum of life within you, a quiet current that moves invisibly, yet shapes every thought, every movement, and every heartbeat. This is the electricity that flows through the body, not as sparks of lightning, but as a gentle, continuous symphony of ions and charges, orchestrating the dance of life with invisible hands. Each neuron is a delicate conductor, its branches reaching out like tiny tree limbs, carrying signals as pulses of energy that traverse microscopic highways. The brain, dense and intricate, houses billions of these neurons, each one communicating through soft, fleeting exchanges of electrical impulses and chemical whispers. Together, they weave the narrative of sensation, memory, emotion, and perception, creating an inner world as rich and expansive as the cosmos itself. The electrical language of the body is neither loud nor violent. It is quiet, precise, and deeply poetic, a hidden current that shapes every layer of existence from the tip of your fingers to the deepest recess of your mind. Consider the simplest action, lifting a hand. It seems ordinary, effortless, yet beneath the surface, a symphony of electricity unfolds. Signals begin in the brain, where neurons encode intention as pulses of voltage. These signals race along axons, jumping across synapses, guided by the delicate balance of sodium and potassium ions that create tiny voltage differences. Each movement of ions represents a subtle negotiation between forces, a microscopic rhythm that translates thought into motion. Muscles respond not merely to chemical signals, but to the orchestrated arrival of these tiny currents, contracting and relaxing with precision. The soft energy flowing through each nerve fiber is like a river threading through a forest, touching every leaf, every root, creating a connected network that moves in harmony, reflecting an intelligence that is quiet, patient, and profoundly beautiful. The heart, too, is a testament to electrical harmony. Within its chambers, specialized pacemaker cells generate rhythmic electrical impulses that dictate the heartbeat, ensuring the steady flow of blood throughout the body. Each pulse is a wave of electrical energy that travels through cardiac tissues, coordinating contraction and relaxation, sending oxygen and nutrients to distant cells with poetic regularity. This electrical choreography is sensitive to countless subtle factors: the levels of ions in the blood, hormonal signals, temperature, and even emotional states. Stress, excitement, or calm can modulate the rhythm, showing how electricity within us is intimately tied not only to physiology but to our inner experience. It is a reminder that life is not merely chemical or mechanical. It is fundamentally energetic, a flowing network of currents that bridges the physical and the ephemeral. Even at the scale of individual cells, electricity plays a critical role in sustaining life. Every cell maintains a potential difference across its membrane, a delicate imbalance of charges that is crucial for nutrient transport, waste removal, and communication with neighboring cells. Ion channels act as microscopic gates, opening and closing in response to subtle cues, allowing currents to flow with exquisite timing. The flow of calcium, sodium, and potassium ions regulates processes from muscle contraction to gene expression, linking the microscopic movements of electrons to macroscopic actions such as thought, motion, and sensation. In this way, electricity becomes both medium and message, a bridge connecting energy, information, and the continuity of life itself. The body is a living circuit, not in the mechanical sense, but in a subtle, harmonious manner where every pulse, every fluctuation carries meaning and purpose, quietly sustaining the intricate web of existence. Our nervous system is perhaps the most intricate manifestation of this inner electricity. Signals travel at remarkable speeds, yet the experience is seamless, almost imperceptible. Sensory neurons detect minute changes in pressure, temperature, and chemical composition, translating these signals into electrical impulses that reach the brain. The brain interprets these signals, integrates them, and orchestrates responses with delicate precision. A gentle breeze on your skin, the warmth of sunlight, the taste of a berry, all are conveyed through this electric symphony, each sensation a note in the ongoing music of perception. Even memory and imagination rely on subtle electrical patterns where transient currents encode past experiences, linking neurons in networks that can persist for years. Electricity, in this sense, is not merely functional. It is deeply entwined with identity, consciousness, and the way the self experiences the world. Consider the brain's ability to adapt and change, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity, which is itself a dance of electrical energy. Connections between neurons strengthen or weaken depending on patterns of activity, guided by the flow of ions across membranes and the timing of electrical spikes. Learning, memory formation, and skill acquisition are all shaped by these subtle currents, demonstrating that electricity is a medium through which experience leaves its imprint on biology. The brain is a landscape of potential, where electrical activity sculpts structure and function over time. Each thought, each decision, each fleeting moment of awareness leaves a mark in this energetic tapestry, a reminder that life is not static but a flowing, adaptive, electric process, constantly recording, responding, and evolving. On a larger scale, our sensory organs reveal the elegance of biological electricity in perceiving the world. The eyes transform photons into electrical signals, translating light into vision. The cochlea in the ear converts vibrations into patterns of electrical impulses, allowing the brain to interpret sound. Even the tongue and nose rely on subtle ionic currents to encode taste and smell. Each sensory system transforms external energy into internal currents, creating a bridge between the external environment and the internal realm of perception. It is a profound reminder that electricity is the language through which the universe communicates with us, flowing silently within us, shaping experience and connecting the inner self with the vast, pulsating world outside. Yet perhaps the most poetic aspect of the electricity within us is its continuity with the wider natural world. The same forces that govern neuronal impulses also guide lightning, auroras, and the magnetism of the Earth. Electrons move in subtle harmony, whether inside cells or across the atmosphere. In this way, the body becomes a microcosm of cosmic processes, a living illustration of the universal principles of energy flow. There is a deep resonance between the human body and the environment, a shared symphony of currents, pulses, and fields. To sense the electricity within oneself is to glimpse a quiet connection with the universe, to feel the gentle threads that bind life on Earth to the rhythms of stars, planets, and sky. Finally, as we pause in this first section, imagine lying quietly, noticing the faint, imperceptible hum of currents within your body. Each breath, each heartbeat, each thought is supported by this electric energy, a gentle network that sustains the self. Life is not merely movement or metabolism, it is an ongoing conversation of electrons, ions, and subtle fields. The electricity inside you is both invisible and intimate, silent yet expressive, scientific yet deeply poetic. It carries memory, intention, and connection, linking body to mind, organism to environment, and individual to cosmos. To feel it consciously is to enter a space of wonder and reflection, to appreciate the quiet, intricate, and profoundly beautiful choreography that animates every living moment, from the spark of a neuron to the vast, flowing symphony of life itself. Let us drift deeper into the subtle dance of electricity that courses through every living being, tracing the paths that connect thought, sensation, and emotion. Within the brain, currents flow like rivers through valleys of gray matter, twisting and turning, forming networks that map experiences and memories. Each spike of electricity carries not just information but context, shaping perception and guiding behavior. Consider how a single memory can emerge from countless microscopic exchanges of ions, where the timing of each impulse determines whether a thought is recalled or forgotten. Electricity here is not a mere messenger, it is a sculptor, delicately carving the architecture of the mind, leaving traces that echo with past experiences while shaping the possibilities of the future. This quiet, internal energy does not demand attention, yet it orchestrates the entire symphony of consciousness with astonishing precision and grace. Within the layers of the cortex, the complexity of these electric currents becomes even more profound. Neurons form vast interconnected networks, communicating through synapses that transmit signals with exquisite timing. The exchange of ions across membranes generates the tiny voltage changes that underlie thought, yet these signals are not isolated. They resonate across networks, creating patterns that emerge as perception, emotion, and cognition. Imagine a single emotion, like a gentle wave of happiness. It begins as subtle shifts in voltage, cascades through neurons, influences hormonal release, and subtly adjusts heart rate and respiration. In this way, electricity links the inner life of the mind with the tangible, physical reality of the body. It is a bridge between the ephemeral and the material, flowing silently yet powerfully, shaping the very essence of being. Even the rhythm of sleep illustrates the elegance of these internal currents. During rest, the brain does not shut down. Instead, electrical activity shifts, moving through slow waves and gentle oscillations that promote memory consolidation and cellular repair. These nocturnal currents sweep through neurons like a soft tide, washing over synapses, pruning some connections while strengthening others. The patterns of these waves are intimately tied to cycles of consciousness and unconsciousness, guiding dreams, regulating mood, and maintaining cognitive balance. Sleep reveals the intelligence of electricity within the body. It is not a mere reaction to stimuli, but a proactive force, maintaining health and coherence, ensuring that the organism can continue to navigate the world with clarity and poise. In these quiet hours, electricity performs a meticulous, invisible choreography that sustains life and mind alike. The heart, too, reveals a poetry of electrical orchestration. Pacemaker cells generate impulses that spread through cardiac tissues with impeccable timing, ensuring that blood flows smoothly, nourishing every corner of the body. These currents are sensitive to subtle signals from the nervous system, hormones, and even the environment. Emotions influence heart rhythm, demonstrating a profound connection between inner experience and physiological function. Anxiety can quicken the beat, calmness can slow it, and meditation can harmonize the rhythm, showing that electricity is not merely mechanistic but responsive and adaptive. Each pulse is a reminder that life's energy is alive, flowing, and intimately connected to both body and mind. Electricity is the medium through which inner experience and outer physiology converse, forming a dialogue that is continuous, gentle, and vital. Beyond neurons and heart cells, electricity is essential in every tissue and organ. Muscles contract through the propagation of action potentials, the coordinated flow of ions that triggers fibers to shorten and lengthen. Even within bones, electric potentials influence growth and repair, responding to mechanical stress and signaling cells to adapt. These subtle currents connect all systems, creating a network that is simultaneously microscopic and expansive. Every action, from blinking an eye to walking across a room, relies on the careful orchestration of these charges. The body, in essence, is a living circuit, each component contributing to a dynamic, coherent system where electricity flows with intention, timing, and grace. It is a silent, invisible river that supports every movement, thought, and feeling, binding cells into tissues and tissues into a harmonious whole. Consider the sensory organs, gateways through which external stimuli are translated into internal electrical language. Light striking the retina triggers photoreceptor cells to release bursts of ions, converting photons into electrical signals that the brain interprets as images. Sound waves vibrating the cochlea generate currents that encode pitch and intensity, allowing us to perceive music, language, and the quiet whispers of nature. Even taste and smell rely on subtle ionic changes, translating chemical cues into signals that the brain can interpret. In each case, electricity is the translator between external reality and internal perception, quietly bridging the world outside and the consciousness within. It is not noisy or intrusive. It is gentle, precise, and deeply attuned to the rhythms of life, like a soft, invisible hand guiding the mind's awareness. The adaptability of these electric currents is astonishing. Neurons adjust their sensitivity, synapses strengthen or weaken, and circuits reorganize themselves in response to experience. This plasticity underlies learning, memory, and skill development, revealing that electricity is not merely a conduit but an active agent in shaping intelligence. When a skill is practiced, electrical patterns repeat, stabilizing neural pathways and encoding knowledge in subtle, enduring ways. The brain becomes a landscape of flowing currents, each stream shaped by experience, emotion, and reflection. Life is not static, it is dynamic, continuously molded by the flow of energy, demonstrating that electricity is both messenger and architect, sustaining awareness while crafting the evolving self. Even at the microscopic scale, the elegance of these processes is undeniable. Ion channels open and close with precision, allowing currents to pass in controlled bursts that maintain cellular homeostasis. Calcium ions influence gene expression, guiding growth and repair, while potassium and sodium regulate volume and excitability. Electrical potentials enable intercellular communication, coordinating tissues and organs across the body. These currents are minuscule, yet their influence is vast, affecting everything from heartbeat to thought. It is a reminder that life's complexity is built upon simple, elegant rules, where the flow of electrons and ions forms the foundation of existence. Every subtle shift, every gentle pulse, contributes to the intricate choreography of living systems, silently sustaining the organism with rhythmic grace. Finally, as we trace the currents through the body, we begin to sense a quiet interconnectedness with the world beyond. The electricity that flows through neurons is governed by the same fundamental principles that guide lightning across the sky, auroras dancing over polar skies, and magnetic fields shaping planetary systems. In this sense, our bodies are microcosms of the universe, each pulse of energy a reflection of cosmic patterns, each neuron a tiny echo of the forces that ripple through space and time. To feel the electricity within is to glimpse a subtle resonance with the cosmos, to recognize that life is not isolated but woven into the energetic fabric of reality. Every thought, every heartbeat, every gentle movement is a quiet song, a living testament to the harmonious flow of energy that sustains existence, connects us to nature, and reflects the profound poetry of the universe itself. Now let us drift gently toward the quiet conclusion of our journey through the currents that animate thought, feeling, and life itself. Electricity in the body is not merely a physical phenomenon. It is a soft, persistent whisper, a rhythmic pulse that links mind and matter, self and environment. Each nerve impulse, each ionic flow carries with it the weight of countless interactions, both past and present, forming a living tapestry of experience. We often overlook these subtle currents, their silence masking their immense influence, yet they are the invisible threads weaving the narrative of who we are. Imagine tracing a single thought back through layers of electrical activity, through networks of neurons that stretch like intricate rivers through the landscape of the brain. Every decision, every recollection, every flicker of curiosity arises from this delicate, luminous flow, an unceasing dance of energy and matter. The heart, too, joins this dialogue, each beat a gentle echo of the currents within. Pacemaker cells orchestrate the rhythm of life, generating a steady cadence that resonates throughout the body. When we are calm, the rhythm is slow and deliberate, a soft tide lapping at the shores of consciousness. When we experience fear, excitement, or wonder, the beat quickens, responding to the smallest perturbations in the nervous system. The heart communicates with the brain through electrical and chemical signals, a conversation that is at once intimate and universal. Every pulse is a reminder that the body is a coherent system, where energy flows seamlessly, connecting cells, organs, and tissues in an intricate symphony. This network is at once delicate and robust, capable of remarkable resilience while maintaining harmony across scales, from the microscopic to the whole organism. Muscles, too, are choreographed by electricity, each contraction a precise response to neural signals that trigger cascading currents. When we move, these currents allow fibers to shorten and lengthen in elegant coordination, translating thought into action. Walking, stretching, or even the subtle motion of breathing is guided by electrical rhythms, invisible yet essential. Bones, too, sense and respond to electric potentials, guiding growth, repair, and adaptation to the forces of gravity and movement. Even at rest, the body hums with energy, maintaining homeostasis and quietly adjusting to internal and external changes. It is a system of continuous communication, where currents are both messengers and regulators, a dynamic feedback loop. That preserves balance while fostering adaptability. Every microcurrent contributes to the cohesion of life, ensuring that the organism remains functional, responsive, and alive. Within the sensory organs, electricity translates the world into perception, converting photons, vibrations, and chemicals into signals that the brain can interpret. The retina captures light and transforms it into currents that map the environment with exquisite precision, while the cochlea converts air vibrations into signals that resonate through neural networks. Taste and smell translate chemical molecules into experience, mediated entirely by subtle ionic exchanges. Electricity acts as the interpreter between external stimuli and internal awareness, a translator that conveys the essence of the world to the mind. Without these currents, perception would be impossible. The beauty of a sunset, the music of a gentle stream, the aroma of flowers would exist only in potential, never realized. In this way, electricity shapes not just the mechanics of life, but the texture of experience, allowing consciousness to emerge from matter in all its richness. Plasticity, the ability of neural circuits to adapt and reconfigure, demonstrates the intelligence of these currents. Repetition strengthens pathways, learning ingrains itself in patterns of activity, and memory stabilizes through the coordinated flow of energy. The brain is not a static organ. It is a living, adaptive system, constantly reshaped by experience, guided by currents that are as fluid as they are precise. Every moment of reflection, every practice of skill, every emotional encounter leaves a trace in these patterns, a subtle imprint of lived experience. Electricity is the medium through which life learns, remembers, and evolves, a silent teacher guiding the mind and body through the complex terrain of existence. In this sense, life is not merely a mechanical process, but an ongoing dialogue, a conversation carried by the gentle, persistent hum of energy through networks both vast and minute. The microscopic elegance of ion channels, the regulated flow of calcium, sodium, and potassium, underscores the intricate beauty of this system. Each opening and closing of a channel is a choice, a decision at the cellular level that influences the entire organism. Electrical potentials coordinate activity across tissues and organs, allowing for synchronized function and adaptability. These micro-events, nearly imperceptible, accumulate into a grand symphony of life, a quiet testament to the complexity of nature. They remind us that even the smallest elements, when orchestrated with precision, give rise to immense phenomena. The body, in all its detail, is a universe of currents, each ion a note in the music of being, each fluctuation a pulse in the heartbeat of existence. Life emerges not from chaos, but from the elegant, rhythmic flow of energy, structured yet flexible, gentle yet powerful. As we contemplate these currents, it becomes clear that the human body is a microcosm of the universe itself. The principles guiding neurons and ions mirror those shaping cosmic phenomena, currents, fields, and forces that ripple through space and time, forming patterns that are both local and universal. The electricity within us resonates with the electric and magnetic fields that shape planets, stars, and galaxies. In this reflection, we perceive a profound unity, a quiet resonance that links life to the cosmos, mind to matter, and self to the infinite. Every thought, heartbeat, and breath is part of this continuous flow, a reminder that we are both observers and participants in the great energetic dance of the universe. Finally, let us rest in the gentle understanding that electricity is not just a physical property, but a poetic force, an unseen companion that animates life with quiet purpose. It is the subtle rhythm behind thought, emotion, and movement, connecting every part of the body into a coherent whole. It bridges the inner world of consciousness with the external reality of experience, creating a continuous, dynamic dialogue. In every pulse, every wave, and every fluctuation, there is a story of life persisting, adapting, and expressing itself through the harmonious flow of energy. As we close this exploration, we are left with a sense of wonder and serenity, a quiet appreciation for the invisible currents that sustain and connect all living things, a gentle acknowledgement of the poetry that underlies every flicker of thought, every heartbeat, and every breath. Let us drift gently into a world where time itself seems to have a voice, where the quiet ticking of natural clocks shapes the rhythm of life. Imagine a forest at dawn, the first light filtering softly through the leaves, each plant and tree awakening in a delicate symphony. Within this living tapestry, countless organisms follow rhythms that are invisible yet deeply felt, guided by internal mechanisms that mark the passing of hours, days, and seasons. These biological clocks, known as circadian rhythms, regulate sleep, metabolism, growth, and behavior, creating a harmony between life and the cycles of the planet. They are subtle, precise, and poetic in their function, a testament to the elegance of evolutionary design. Even when humans attempt to ignore these rhythms, their influence persists, a quiet reminder that life is intertwined with the passage of time, with patterns that extend far beyond the scope of conscious perception. Consider the tiny leaves of a sunflower, turning gently to follow the sun's path across the sky. This movement, called heliotropism, is orchestrated by internal clocks that respond to light and darkness, a slow, patient dance that maximizes energy capture for growth and survival. Each cell within the plant contains molecular oscillators, sequences of proteins that rise and fall in predictable patterns, creating rhythms that are remarkably consistent even in the absence of external cues. These internal clocks are not limited to plants. Animals, fungi, and even microbes exhibit similar cycles, coordinating feeding, reproduction, and rest with astonishing precision. The universality of these rhythms reveals a fundamental principle. Time is woven into the very fabric of life, a guiding force that shapes behavior and ensures survival in a world that is itself ever-changing. Imagine tracing the delicate molecular mechanisms in a leaf, observing the ebb and flow of proteins and signals, as if listening to a quiet, invisible heartbeat that echoes the movement of the sun and the rotation of the earth. Now imagine walking through a meadow in the early morning, where dew glistens like tiny prisms on each blade of grass. The plants, though silent, are engaged in an intimate dialogue with light, temperature, and moisture, their circadian rhythms anticipating the dawn and preparing the leaves for photosynthesis. At the molecular level, genes switch on and off in cycles, producing enzymes and hormones that control the opening of stomata, the flow of water, and the accumulation of energy. This invisible orchestration allows life to harmonize with environmental cycles, ensuring that each organism is at its peak performance at the right time of day. Even flowers that open at night, releasing fragrance into the cool air, are guided by these internal clocks, responding to cues that humans might scarcely notice. In this quiet synchronization, there is a subtle poetry, a rhythmic logic that connects the microscopic world of molecules to the macroscopic dance of ecosystems, where every organism contributes to the overall flow of life. Animals, too, are tuned to these temporal currents. Birds awaken before sunrise, their calls resonating through the cool morning air, while nocturnal creatures emerge under the soft glow of moonlight. Within their brains, neurons generate oscillations that coordinate behavior, feeding, and reproduction with external cues. Some animals possess remarkable abilities to adjust these rhythms seasonally, preparing for migration, hibernation, or reproduction, demonstrating an intricate balance between internal timing and environmental pressures. Even humans are not exempt. Our sleep-wake cycles, hormone levels, and body temperature all follow predictable patterns, influenced by light and darkness. Disruptions to these rhythms, such as jet lag or shift work, reveal just how deeply our biology depends on temporal regularity. In these moments, we sense the profound connection between life and time, a subtle reminder that the passage of hours is not merely a measure of duration, but a framework within which life flourishes. At the cellular level, the precision of these clocks is astounding. Proteins accumulate and degrade in cycles, creating feedback loops that sustain oscillations with remarkable accuracy. The molecular machinery is both resilient and adaptable, able to respond to environmental cues while maintaining consistency across days and seasons. This adaptability allows organisms to anticipate change, preparing for dawn, dusk, and the shifting of seasons with elegant foresight. Even microorganisms, which lack complex nervous systems, display rhythmic behavior, timing cell division, nutrient uptake, and metabolic activity to match environmental cycles. Such universality of timekeeping mechanisms suggests a deep evolutionary significance. Life has evolved not just to react to the present, but to anticipate the future, using the predictable flow of time as a scaffold for survival and growth. There is a quiet beauty in this foresight, an unspoken elegance in the way life aligns itself with the rhythms of the cosmos. The forest, meadow, or garden becomes a stage where time itself seems almost tangible. Shadows lengthen and shorten as the sun arcs across the sky, petals unfold with deliberate precision, and the subtle movements of leaves create a living clock visible to those who observe. With care, even the rustling of branches in a gentle breeze follows a pattern shaped by the interaction of light, temperature, and internal biological rhythms. Insects, too, navigate this temporal landscape, timing their foraging and pollination activities to coincide with the availability of nectar or the opening of flowers. Everything participates in the dance, from the smallest microbe to the tallest tree, creating a seamless continuity that integrates biology with the cycles of the earth. The rhythms of life are everywhere, invisible yet inescapable, shaping the pace of growth, behavior, and energy use in ways both subtle and profound. Sleep, that most restorative state, is perhaps the most intimate manifestation of these internal clocks. As evening descends, neurons begin to shift their patterns, signaling the body to wind down, reduce alertness, and enter a state of repair and memory consolidation. Hormones like melatonin rise and fall, temperature drops, and heart rate slows, all guided by a precise internal rhythm. During sleep, the body and mind engage in quiet maintenance, reinforcing neural connections, clearing metabolic waste, and restoring energy. Dreams, fleeting and ephemeral, may arise from the interplay of these oscillations, a poetic reflection of the subconscious mind interacting with the structured cadence of life. In this gentle surrender to temporal rhythm, there is a lesson. Life thrives when it moves in harmony with the passage of time, when rest and activity, light and darkness, are embraced as natural companions rather than resisted or ignored. Even on the scale of evolution, time plays a crucial role. Organisms adapt not only to immediate cycles of day and night, but to longer patterns of seasonality and climate. Genetic and epigenetic mechanisms tune development and reproduction to seasonal cues, ensuring that offspring arrive when resources are abundant and conditions favorable. Migration patterns, flowering times, and hibernation schedules all reflect an exquisite attunement to temporal cycles, a testament to the power of internal clocks in shaping life across generations. Time is not merely a backdrop, but a participant in evolution, guiding the trajectory of species and ecosystems. In this awareness, we perceive a continuity that transcends individual lives, a rhythm that links generations and species through an invisible, persistent cadence. There is a serene satisfaction in witnessing this order, a recognition of the subtle intelligence inherent in the temporal architecture of life. As we reflect on these intricate patterns, it becomes clear that life is a living chronometer, each organism a delicate timekeeper attuned to the pulses of the planet. The quiet unfolding of leaves, the migration of birds, the cycles of sleep and activity, all these phenomena are threads in a vast temporal tapestry, each contributing to a coherent, interdependent whole. To observe them is to witness a poetry of precision, a gentle reminder that the passage of time is not merely measured but felt, lived, and integrated into the very essence of being. Life moves in rhythms, some apparent, some hidden, yet all essential to sustaining the harmony of existence. In this quiet observation, we find both knowledge and solace, a sense that time, like electricity, like water, flows through us and around us, connecting the smallest leaf to the largest tree, the briefest insect to the enduring forest, and each moment to the vast continuity of life itself. Let us drift deeper into the forest of time, where each moment seems to stretch and bend like sunlight filtering through a canopy, where life pulses in quiet, measured rhythms. The internal clocks of living beings do more than mark the hours. They create a subtle architecture that harmonizes behavior, metabolism, and perception with the environment. In the simplest of plants, these molecular oscillators can measure time with astonishing precision, predicting dawn even in the absence of light, coordinating the opening and closing of leaves and flowers, and regulating the production of enzymes essential for photosynthesis. The rhythmic nature of these processes, unfolding in continuous cycles, forms a hidden dialogue between the organism and its surroundings, a gentle conversation conducted in chemical signals and molecular pulses. Each oscillation, each rise and fall of proteins and genes, is a testament to the quiet intelligence embedded in life, an intelligence that operates without awareness yet achieves extraordinary precision. Imagine the forest as a cathedral of living time, where every creature participates in the liturgy of circadian rhythms. Birds awaken before the sun touches the treetops, their songs harmonizing with the first warm rays of light. Insects emerge according to cycles of temperature and humidity, synchronizing feeding, pollination, and reproduction with astonishing foresight. Beneath the surface, fungi release spores in rhythmic STS, guided by environmental cues that extend beyond the visible. Even the soil itself has a rhythm, microbial communities cycling in concert with the decomposition of organic matter and the flow of nutrients. This temporal choreography extends to humans as well, whose sleep-wake cycles, hormone secretions, and alertness patterns are deeply tied to light and darkness. Disruptions to these rhythms, such as artificial lighting or rapid travel across time zones, remind us of the fragile harmony that life maintains with temporal cycles. Each observation draws us into a contemplation of time not merely as a measure, but as a living, breathing essence that shapes the world in continuous, gentle motion. On the molecular stage, circadian rhythms operate through feedback loops of proteins that rise and fall in carefully timed sequences. In plants, these cycles coordinate photosynthesis, growth, and water balance, while in animals, they regulate neural activity, hormone production, and metabolism. This intricate timing ensures that energy is used efficiently, that vital processes occur when they are most likely to succeed, and that organisms are prepared for predictable changes in their environment. The precision of these cycles is astonishing, with oscillations maintaining consistency across days and even seasons, adapting subtly to light intensity, temperature shifts, and seasonal variations. This adaptability is a testament to the evolutionary refinement of life's timekeeping mechanisms, demonstrating that organisms are not passive participants in the flow of hours but active interpreters of temporal cues. There is a quiet poetry in the way life anticipates change, responding to both the present moment and the predictable future with a grace that humans can only observe from afar. Let us consider the subtle elegance of sleep, where circadian rhythms reach their most intimate expression. As dusk approaches, the body receives signals to prepare for rest. Melatonin levels rise, core temperature drops, and neurons adjust their firing patterns to facilitate sleep and memory consolidation. During this time, the brain clears metabolic waste, strengthens neural connections, and processes emotions, all in synchrony with cycles that have evolved over millions of years. Dreams emerge as ephemeral whispers of neural activity, perhaps reflecting the oscillatory patterns that underlie consciousness. Sleep is not merely restorative, it is a temporal alignment with the rhythms of life itself, a nightly immersion in the cycles that govern existence. Observing sleep in other species reveals a similar reverence for temporal order. Birds engage in brief naps, mammals follow extended periods of slumber, and even insects exhibit rest-like states. Across life, time shapes behavior, energy, and perception, weaving a continuous, invisible tapestry that supports survival and well-being. The broader environment plays a crucial role in reinforcing these rhythms. Daylight, temperature, humidity, and seasonal variation act as cues that synchronize internal clocks to the external world. Plants and animals use these signals to coordinate flowering, migration, breeding, and foraging. In temperate regions, changing day length drives complex adjustments. Animals enter hibernation or migration, while plants adjust flowering and seed production. Tropical ecosystems, with more stable light cycles, still rely on subtle environmental cues to maintain synchrony among species. Even marine life, subject to tidal cycles and lunar phases, exhibits remarkable temporal adaptation, with reproduction, feeding, and movement timed to coincide with predictable shifts. The universality of these cycles suggests that time, in its many forms, is an organizing principle that structures life across scales, from molecular to planetary. Every oscillation, from a single gene to a migrating herd, resonates with a deeper rhythm that binds the living world together. Consider now the intricate dance of neurons and hormones, the way they orchestrate behavior according to circadian patterns. In mammals, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a small cluster of neurons in the brain, functions as the master clock, integrating light information and coordinating peripheral clocks throughout the body. This master clock communicates with organs, tissues, and cells, ensuring that physiological processes occur at optimal times. Heart rate, digestion, immune response, and hormone secretion all follow these rhythms, creating a holistic temporal framework that sustains health and performance. Disruptions to this synchronization, such as irregular sleep, shift work, or exposure to artificial light at night, can lead to fatigue, metabolic disorders, and cognitive impairment. These observations remind us of the profound interdependence between life and the steady pulse of time, highlighting that our well-being is intimately tied to the silent, persistent guidance of internal clocks. Time is not simply an external measurement, but an embodied experience, shaping physiology, behavior, and perception in ways both tangible and subtle. In plants, the precision of temporal regulation is equally remarkable. Circadian oscillators control gene expression, enzyme production, and growth patterns, enabling organisms to anticipate environmental changes rather than merely react. Flowers open and close at specific times, leaves orient toward the sun, and metabolic activity rises and falls in sync with daylight and darkness. Some plants, such as sunflowers and legumes, exhibit movement patterns that track solar progression, optimizing energy capture and growth. Even in darkness, these rhythms persist, demonstrating an internal consistency that operates independently of immediate external cues. The elegance of this temporal autonomy reveals a hidden order within life, a reminder that every organism is attuned to cycles far greater than itself, silently participating in a cosmic rhythm that spans hours, days, and seasons. There is a poetic resonance in this observation, the quiet, measured unfolding of life, each pulse and oscillation contributing to a symphony of time. At a broader scale, ecosystems themselves display rhythmic patterns that reflect the cumulative oscillations of individual organisms. Seasonal migrations, flowering cycles, predator-prey dynamics, and nutrient fluxes all follow predictable temporal frameworks, creating a dynamic balance that sustains diversity and stability. Even abiotic factors such as tides, wind patterns, and temperature cycles interweave with biological rhythms to produce a continuous multidimensional cadence. Observing these patterns can inspire a profound sense of wonder. Life does not merely exist in time, it dances with it, anticipates it, and organizes itself around it. This insight invites contemplation, a recognition that the subtle currents of time are as essential to life as water, air, and light. The quiet, persistent tick of internal clocks becomes a meditation, a poetic reflection on the interconnectedness of all living things and the rhythms that sustain them. From the cellular to the ecosystem level, time serves as a sculptor of form, function, and behavior. Molecular oscillators shape gene expression, neural networks coordinate activity, and ecological cycles integrate species interactions with environmental rhythms. These nested layers of temporal organization reveal a world that is neither chaotic nor rigid, but fluid, responsive, and exquisitely tuned. Life's oscillations, from the briefest molecular pulse to the longest seasonal migration, create a continuity that allows organisms to navigate change, anticipate challenges, and optimize survival. In this understanding, time becomes more than a measurement. It is a force that shapes existence, a silent partner in the unfolding story of life. There is comfort in this rhythm, a reassurance that life, in all its complexity, follows patterns that are coherent, meaningful, and profoundly beautiful. As the day slowly yields to twilight, the forest's tempo shifts in response to fading light. Nocturnal creatures stir, guided by internal clocks that have long anticipated the darkness. Flowers that remain closed during the day slowly open, releasing fragrance to attract pollinators under the cover of night. The air hums with activity, a subtle counterpoint to the diurnal rhythm that preceded it. Even the soil, rich with microbial life, responds to temperature and moisture cycles, orchestrating nutrient flows that sustain plant growth. The layered, overlapping oscillations of life continue unabated, a testament to the resilience and elegance of temporal regulation. Observing these rhythms, one senses a quiet continuity, an intimate connection between the living world and the passage of time. The forest, meadow, and garden all become classrooms for understanding the profound, poetic intelligence embedded in life's temporal architecture. As night deepens and stars emerge one by one in the vast velvet sky, the cycles of life on Earth continue in quiet harmony, their rhythms imperceptible yet profound. The forest breathes in a measured cadence, each leaf, each blade of grass, each hidden root participating in the eternal oscillation of time. Shadows stretch and merge, and the gentle rustle of nocturnal creatures forms a subtle symphony, orchestrated by internal clocks that have evolved over eons. Even the stillness of night is not empty. It is a canvas upon which the patterns of life are painted with soft, deliberate strokes. The elegance of circadian rhythms, of anticipatory behavior, of molecular oscillations, is that they allow life to exist not merely reactively, but in a state of quiet readiness, attuned to the predictable cycles of day and night, of warmth and cold, of light and shadow. Within each organism, these rhythms manifest in delicate physiological adjustments. In mammals, neurons fire in slow, rhythmic patterns, orchestrating sleep and wakefulness, regulating hormone secretion, and coordinating metabolic functions. Melatonin rises as light diminishes, preparing the body for rest, while core temperature and heart rate subtly decline, creating an internal environment optimized for regeneration and memory consolidation. Dreams emerge like fleeting waves, reflections of neural oscillations, echoes of experiences integrated and remembered. In plants, enzyme production, photosynthetic activity, and growth rhythms continue according to cycles that anticipate sunrise and sunset. The entire biosphere is thus a network of synchronized clocks, each operating independently yet harmoniously, creating an invisible web of temporal order that spans molecules, organisms, and ecosystems. There is a profound beauty in recognizing that the very fabric of life is woven from these subtle, persistent rhythms. The forest floor, rich with decay and renewal, is alive with temporally orchestrated processes. Microbial communities process organic matter in rhythmic cycles, releasing nutrients that feed plants in predictable patterns. Fungi extend their hyphae in measured growth, their spores released in timed bursts that coincide with environmental cues. Roots respond to soil moisture and chemical signals, adjusting absorption and growth in harmony with the passage of days and seasons. In rivers and lakes, plankton bloom according to light cycles, providing sustenance for fish and other aquatic organisms in a finely tuned sequence. Predators and prey, guided by internal and external rhythms, engage in a delicate dance, each movement informed by the oscillations that structure the day. These interdependent cycles are not random. They form a coherent network, a temporal tapestry that sustains life through continuous, gentle coordination. Let us drift to the quiet elegance of human circadian rhythms, intimately intertwined with sleep, consciousness, and cognition. The suprachiasmatic nucleus in the brain communicates with peripheral organs to synchronize processes across the body, from liver metabolism to cardiac rhythm, from immune activity to neural plasticity. When aligned with natural light cycles, these rhythms optimize health, learning, and emotional regulation. Disruption, however, can ripple through the system. Sleep deprivation diminishes memory consolidation, shifts in light exposure can alter hormone balance, and irregular schedules can increase susceptibility to disease. Understanding these cycles reveals the intimate relationship between life and the passage of time, a relationship that humans, like other creatures, navigate instinctively yet imperfectly. There is comfort in observing this synchrony, a reassurance that even in the quiet moments of rest, life continues its precise and elegant dance with time. Seasonal cycles expand this temporal perspective further. In temperate regions, day length dictates behavioral shifts. Animals prepare for hibernation or migration, plants adjust flowering and seed production, and entire ecosystems respond to predictable changes. In tropical climates, subtle variations in rainfall, temperature, and day length guide reproductive and growth cycles. Marine organisms, influenced by tides and lunar phases, follow rhythms that integrate celestial and environmental signals. Across the globe, the steady pulse of time structures life in ways both visible and hidden. Recognizing this interconnectedness transforms our understanding of existence. Life is not merely a sequence of events, but a network of oscillations, anticipations, and responses, all aligned with a rhythm that extends from molecules to planets. There is poetry in this orchestration, a quiet elegance that invites reflection on the continuity of life. The molecular machinery of circadian rhythms is a marvel of evolutionary refinement. Feedback loops of gene expression and protein synthesis create oscillations that maintain consistency over days and adapt subtly to environmental changes. In plants, clock genes regulate photosynthesis, hormone production, and growth, while in animals, neural and hormonal pathways coordinate sleep, metabolism, and behavior. Even unicellular organisms exhibit temporal regulation, adjusting activity and reproduction according to light and nutrient cycles. This universality of oscillatory mechanisms illustrates that timekeeping is fundamental to life itself, a principle embedded in the biochemistry and physiology of every organism. The quiet precision of these cycles, operating independently yet harmoniously, is a testament to nature's ability to create order from complexity, to maintain balance in the midst of constant change. Consider now the concept of entrainment, where external cues synchronize internal clocks. Light is the dominant cue, guiding the activity of both plants and animals. Temperature, food availability, and social interactions can also influence rhythms, fine-tuning the organism's internal T. Ming to the environment. Entrainment ensures that life remains aligned with predictable changes, maximizing efficiency and survival. It is a subtle negotiation between internal autonomy and external influence, a dialogue conducted in molecular signals and behavioral adjustments. Observing this interplay, one perceives a delicate intelligence in nature, a wisdom encoded in the cycles of life that allows organisms to navigate time with grace. There is a quiet reassurance in this knowledge, a sense that the living world, despite its complexity, is guided by an underlying order both elegant and enduring. From the microcosm to the macrocosm, time organizes life into layers of interdependent rhythms. Cells oscillate in gene expression, neurons fire in patterns, organs maintain functional cycles, and ecosystems follow seasonal and daily sequences. These nested rhythms interact, creating coherence and stability that allow life to flourish. In humans, aligning with these rhythms enhances cognitive function, emotional well-being, and physical health. In other species, synchronization ensures survival, reproduction, and ecological balance. There is a profound symmetry in recognizing that time, while invisible, shapes existence at every level. Each oscillation, each subtle rise and fall is a note in the symphony of life, a quiet affirmation of continuity, resilience, and the intricate beauty of the natural world. As the night advances toward dawn, the first glimmers of light signal the impending transition. Organisms, attuned to these subtle cues, begin to adjust. Flowers that remained closed under the moon's soft glow slowly open, releasing fragrance to attract early pollinators. Birds stir in nests, preparing to greet the rising sun with song. Even nocturnal predators and foragers, guided by their internal clocks, begin to anticipate the shift in light and temperature. The continuous oscillation of life, meticulously tuned to environmental cues, embodies the quiet elegance of time's influence. In this delicate balance, there is a lesson. Life persists not by resisting change, but by moving in rhythm with it, attuned to the cycles that govern existence. Each organism, from the smallest microbe to the largest predator, participates in this grand temporal dance, contributing to a harmony that sustains the biosphere. In reflecting on these observations, we realize that circadian rhythms are not merely biological curiosities. They are the subtle threads that weave the tapestry of life. They shape behavior, regulate physiology, synchronize ecosystems, and connect organisms to the passage of time. They remind us that life is an ongoing, anticipatory process, structured not only by external events, but by the internal oscillations that allow organisms to align with the world around them. There is comfort in this understanding, a gentle reassurance that the natural world, in all its complexity, follows rhythms that are coherent, harmonious, and profoundly beautiful. As dawn breaks and the forest awakens, the quiet cycles of life continue, a meditation on the enduring elegance of time and the invisible order that sustains all living beings.